Do not wait until your bananas turn black to learn how to store them. Hello everyone, this is Tracy. Looking at these blackened bananas is the result of storing them the wrong way, putting them in a bag, and placing them in the cabinet. Bananas ripen very quickly, and this method of storing them is not really good. So today, I will show you 4 ways to store bananas so you can keep them yellow, firm, and fresh for many more days, even many weeks. Make sure to watch storage method number 4. Your bananas can stay fresh for 2 to 3 weeks. One of the most important steps in keeping bananas fresh is cleaning them properly as soon as you bring them home. Most people don't realize that the peel often carries residue, natural sap, and ripening stimulants that make bananas turn black much faster. A simple rinse with diluted vinegar can make a big difference. Just prepare a large basin of clean water and add about 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Give it a quick stir, then place your bananas in the bowl. Use your hands to gently rub the skin for 1 to 2 minutes. The mild acidity helps dissolve pesticides, dirt, and the sticky sap that clings to the surface. It also has natural antibacterial properties, which help slow down the ripening process right from the start. After washing, rinse the bananas thoroughly under running water to remove any lingering vinegar scent. Then gently dry them with a clean towel or paper napkin, making sure to pat the stems well, since that's where ripening usually begins. This simple vinegar wash keeps the peels bright and clean, and helps your bananas stay firm and fresh for several extra days. Method 1. Store in a breathable basket. One of the simplest and most effective ways to keep bananas fresh for longer is to store them in a breathable mesh basket instead of a plastic bag. Many people bring bananas home from the store and leave them in the plastic bag, put them in a corner, and the result is exactly what you saw at the beginning of the video. They turn completely black and can't be eaten anymore. In reality, storing bananas in plastic speeds up the browning process. Plastic traps moisture and heat, creating a humid environment that makes bananas sweat. This excess moisture softens the peel, creates ideal conditions for bacteria to grow, and accelerates the release of ethylene gas, the natural gas that makes bananas ripen much faster. The solution is to use a breathable basket or a mesh bag. You simply need to take the bananas out of the plastic packaging as soon as you get home. Gently place the bananas into a basket. Make sure the bananas aren't crowded or stacked on top of each other. Good airflow is the key. Place them in a cool, shaded spot in your kitchen or on a shelf, away from sunlight, the stove, or any other sources of heat. Thanks to the tiny holes and continuous airflow, the bananas stay dry and well ventilated. Air circulation helps regulate the temperature around the fruit, prevents heat buildup, and slows the activity of ethylene. A drier environment also keeps the peel firm and reduces the risk of mold or dark spots. With proper ventilation, bananas can stay yellow and firm for several more days. This is an easy method that works well for anyone who wants to keep fruit fresh without much effort. Method 2. Store ripe bananas and green bananas separately. Another simple trick to store bananas is to separate the ripe ones from the green ones. Looking at this bunch, you can see they're ripening unevenly, half green, half ripe. If you leave them like that, the bananas may ripen much faster. So use a knife to separate the green bananas from the ripe ones. Then prepare 2 breathable baskets and place them separately. Next, store the ripe bananas in a cool, shaded area on your kitchen counter, ideally somewhere with good airflow. For the green bananas, choose the coolest spot in your kitchen, avoiding direct sunlight, high temperatures, or other ethylene-producing fruits such as apples and avocados. By separating the two groups, you will prevent green bananas from ripening too quickly, while also helping the ripe bananas stay fresh longer. This is an easy habit that naturally slows down the ripening process and gives you perfect bananas to enjoy throughout the week. Method 3. Preserving with diluted lemon solution. Another simple but surprisingly effective way to slow down the ripening process of bananas is to brush a thin layer of diluted lemon juice onto the stems. The stem is where bananas release the highest concentration of ethylene gas, the natural gas that stimulates the ripening process. By adding a little acid, you create a protective barrier that helps reduce oxidation, repel bacteria, and slow the release of ethylene. First, cut a lemon into 4 parts. Then take one small piece, about 1/4 of the lemon, and squeeze it into a bowl, adding 1 teaspoon of clean water and stirring well. This mixture creates a natural, gentle preservative that does not affect the flavor of the bananas. Next, dip a cotton swab or a small piece of paper towel into the mixture and gently brush it over the banana stems. Make sure to cover the entire cut surface, but avoid making the stems too wet. A thin, even layer works best. After brushing the stems, place the bananas in a cool, shaded area on the kitchen counter where there is good airflow. The acidity of the lemon helps slow browning on the stems and slows down how quickly the bananas soften. This method is especially useful if you buy bananas in large quantities or if your kitchen is warm, because high temperatures speed up the ripening process. With just a little lemon, you can keep bananas yellow and firm for several extra days a natural, safe way that requires no special tools. Method 4. Preserving bananas in salt water. Finally, this is the method I'm most excited to share. It is preserving them in salt water. This method is especially useful when the bananas have turned yellow and are fully ripe but still firm. Instead of letting them soften and turn brown after just a few days, you can extend their freshness for many months with just a few simple steps. Start by choosing bananas that are ripe but not too soft. Arrange the bananas upright in a clean, sterilized glass jar, leaving a small space at the top. This helps keep the bananas stable and prevents bruising when you pour in the water. Add 1 spoonful of salt directly into the jar. The salt acts as a natural preservative, preventing bacteria and mold from developing. Next, pour in hot salt water until the bananas are completely covered. Use a clean spoon to gently press down and remove any remaining air bubbles, making sure every part of the bananas is fully submerged. Seal the jar tightly with a clean lid. To complete the process, line the bottom of a pot with a thin towel, place the jar inside, and pour in enough water to cover about half the height of the jar. Simmer over low heat for 20 to 25 minutes, then let it cool naturally. When stored in a dry, cool place, the bananas can last from 3 to 6 months at room temperature, and even up to a full year in the refrigerator. This is a simple, traditional method that keeps bananas fresh longer than you might think. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope these simple banana-saving tips help you keep your fruit fresh longer and reduce waste in your kitchen. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Tracy Tips for more practical ideas you can use every day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.